So a week ago, we announced that we were sending strike notices to three nursing homes in Rhode Island. That was Pawtucket Nursing Home, uh, Hopkins Manor Nursing Home, and Genesis Nursing Home. Since that time, there has not been significant progress in any of those nursing homes and our demands, the chief of which is safe staffing for all of our residents. Since we issued our strike notices last week, there have not been significant improvements in negotiations or movement from the employers. Our chief demand is safe staffing for all of our residents. Again, we are hopeful that we will be able to win safe staffing for all nursing home residents throughout Rhode Island, but our members have decided that in the nursing homes where we work, we have the ability to make sure that we are standing up and that we get in our contract safe staffing for our residents. Also, we want to make sure that all of the workers who are called heroes are finally treated like heroes and no longer have to live in poverty. And on those demands, so far, the employers who have received strike notices have made no significant improvements. Today, we are announcing that the strike is now going to expand. The workers at Bannister House and at Charles Gate Nursing Home have decided to join the strike. Their employers have also not made significant movement on our demands, and the workers have stood united and decided that they are going to do whatever they have to do to protect our residents and to make sure that we're able to recruit and retain quality caregivers. We are making this announcement on a day of national action, the Strike for Black Lives, where there are workers all across the country today that are on strike or are taking actions to stand up for Black lives. And to us, there's no mystery why in Rhode Island our nursing home workers are not receiving the voice that they need. It's no secret that it is because of systemic racism and institutional racism that our employers and the industry believe that they can pay workers poverty wages and try and have workers do what is truly an impossible job. Part of the reason why we know that this is not a coincidence is we did a survey and over 70% of our members in nursing homes are women of color. Not only that, we also found that almost 50% of our nursing home workers were not receiving health care because they couldn't afford the coverage that the employers offer. And we further did a question on whether or not it was possible to survive on what the employers are paying. And shocking to some, but not shocking to those of us who are on this press conference, nearly 90% of nursing home workers responded that it is impossible for them to provide for their families on what they are paid by the nursing home industry. It is really a huge indication of the impact of racism on not just our nursing home workers, but also the residents that they serve, that the industry feels like it can get away with paying who everyone agrees are heroes poverty wages. Not only that, but they expect our members to be able to do what is truly an impossible workload. It is impossible for any human to provide the amount of care that our residents need with the staffing levels that we have in our nursing homes. And so we are proud to join together with workers all across the country who declare that it's time to strike for Black lives and for all people of color, and that we must call on those who say that we are heroes to do what's right and to fix this gross injustice. This institutional racism is affecting our nursing home residents as well because they are the ones that are paying the price of not being able to have enough safe staffing. And it's far past time for this to be fixed. And so again, we're going to be striking 5 nursing homes. We're going to be striking at Bannister. That is a new nursing home that is joining us today. Charlesgate also joining us today, as well as the previously announced Pawtucket Nursing Home, Greenville Nursing Home, and Hopkins Manor Nursing Home. We're going to hear from workers from Bannister and from Charlesgate in just a minute. We also, because the strike is expanding and is going to impact far more workers and far more residents, we have decided to move the strike date to August 5th. We need to be perfectly clear with the leaders in the state and with the owners of the nursing home. This is the last time that we will be moving the strike date. We will, if we do not get justice by August 5th, be out on the streets. And I think that it should be concerning to everyone who cares about nursing home residents and cares about the heroes that really caretakers are being forced to take this stand. And it is on the employers and frankly on the state as well to do something to avoid a strike and to do what's right for all of our workers and especially for all of our residents who are paying the price. Before I call on our first worker who's going to be speaking, I do want to address something in terms of what we are facing. Many would expect that the nursing home industry would be concerned and would be trying to figure out how they can solve the staffing crisis and how they can take care of the workers who really make these nursing homes function. But just last week, the head of the nursing home industry had the gall to report and was quoted in the Warwick Beacon as saying that because so many residents have dementia and Alzheimer's, they don't need that much care. They don't need that much direct care. It is beyond shameful that the head of the for-profit industry would claim that our dear residents, the residents who have dementia and who have Alzheimer's, don't deserve all of the care that they need. It is shameful that the industry would say that these residents deserve less care. It is something that I hope that they are going to answer for because, frankly, we are beyond being able to put up with the blatant disregard for our residents and for our workers, and especially in an industry where they have made over the last 2 years, $241 million in net profit, while heroes are living in poverty. And just the last few months, they received an additional $60 million on top of the regular funding that they already received. For them to make the kind of statement that our residents don't deserve more care and to say blatantly that residents who have dementia and Alzheimer's actually need less care is really unconscionable. And it shows to what length the industry is willing to go to try and keep as much of their profits in their pockets as possible. So that said, I'm first going to be calling on Shirley Lumba, who has been a longtime caregiver at Bannister House. And I'm going to ask her to share why she and her coworkers have decided to join the strike, which is now going to be on August 5th.
Hello, how's everybody doing? Thank you for having me here on this important issue. I currently work at Bannister Center. I've been there for 17 years. Out of the 17, I've been a CNA for 15 years. And I just wanted to share a story with you that's very recent. So in late March, my mom had an injury to her foot and got admitted into the hospital, had surgery, needed rehab. And because of COVID and the fact that we wouldn't be able to see her if I had put her into a different facility, my family and I decided that we would put her in Bannister Center. And overall, the experience was great, but I have to tell you that for the 30 days that she was there, she called me at least 2 to 3 times a week to inform me that her call light had been on for more than an hour. And because I work there and I have connections, I was able to call the nurse's station, talk to the nurse, and the nurse literally said to me, "I'm sorry, Shirley, but they're working short again tonight." 2 to 3 times a week. And I just think that someone who needs to wait an hour to get help to go to the bathroom just doesn't make a bit of sense. Now, this is something that got exacerbated by COVID, the working short, because we've been dealing with this for many years. And COVID just made it so it's even worse. And I believe that people, I'm on the negotiating committee. I've been talking to management about trying to fix staffing issues for many years. And it's for a little bit, they'll fix it, but then it goes right back to the same thing. We need to fix this. This is something that needs to be done, and it needs to be done now. You call us heroes, show the heroes that you care for your residents and your staff. Thanks.
Thank you, Shirley. Again, the workers at Bannister House have voted to also join the strike on August 5th, and will be joining us, so that now it'll be 5 nursing homes that are on strike. Next, I'd like to call on Lydia Cullen, who is a registered nurse at Charlesgate Nursing Home, which has also made the decision to join us on our strike on August 5th. Lydia, you'll have to unmute your phone. There you go.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes,
Good
we can
morning.
hear you.
My name is Lydia Cullen, and I've been working with Charlesgate as a nurse for almost 6 years. I am here because we are very tired of working short all the time, especially on weekends. Management complains that people call out, but most of the time they schedule a floor that should have 5 CNAs, they schedule 4, and they will say do not replace or call out. So a floor that has 40 residents will be working with 3 CNAs. The nurses will be working as CNA too, running up and down. We sometimes work 16 hours, we're on no break because we have no time to take a break. Sometimes we have no time to eat. We run up and down, answering calls, just as Shirley said. And some of these people, we treat our patients like they're our family. If it were my auntie, it was for my grandfather. So that's how I treat my residents. So there's no way I can leave my food, I'll be in the middle of eating, and I have to leave that food to run and answer a call lights. Because sometimes that person just needs a cup of water. Or that person is at the edge of the bed and it's about to fall. The 2-3 minutes that it will take me to get there, that patient could fall and break their hip. So we the nurses are running up and down, just as the CNAs are running up and down. We are very tired of this. We agree, we want the management to know that we are tired of this. During the COVID, this thing was long before COVID. We were doing the same thing before the COVID, and COVID came and make it even worse. Some of us had to live in the hotels because we were scared to take the COVID home to our families, which was emotionally stressful. People stay for 2-3 weeks away from their children, from their spouses. It was very, very, very emotional. Now that we stay in the COVID, the pandemic season, they took all the pay away. We have to wear the PPE that is pure plastic, and you sweat from head to toe. Like I have a patient, I spend the least 2 hours in his room when I go there. And I have to wear that PPE. By the time I come up, I'm sweating, I'm drenched from head to toe. And when you take it out, you start to feel cold because your body is wet, you start to feel cold. And that makes us sick too. So we have sacrificed a lot. If they call us heroes, let us be treated like heroes. We agreed to strike because that's the only reason they're going to listen to us. Our residents have been strained. We have been strained too for a long time. So it's about time that something dramatic has to be done. Thank you.
Thank you, Lydia. So again, I want to reiterate that today, on the day of the National Strike for Black Lives, we are announcing that it will now be 5 nursing homes that are going on strike for our residents. The new strike date will be August 5th. The strike will not be moved anymore. This is our firm date. The deadline is 6 a.m. August 5th. It is in the court of the employers and frankly, the state to fix the most pressing issue, which is the short staffing. And again, we have no confusion about the fact that racism plays a huge role in the fact that workers at our nursing homes are expected to do heroic work and be overworked, grossly overworked, because of who we are. Over 70% of nursing home workers and our members are women of color. And if the demographic was different, we know that this would not be considered acceptable and that workers would not be told to just put up with it and keep going. There is time to fix this, and we hope that all those who have the ability to fix this do. But if not, we're going to take the extreme measure of stopping our work and no longer letting these nursing homes profit off of the exploitation of heroes who are paid poverty wages and nursing home residents that are not receiving the care that frankly they're paying for. If there are questions from the press, please enter your name into the chat box or raise your hand. I see Steve Alquist from Uprise, Rhode Island. Steve, you can unmute yourself now.
Hey, how you doing? So quick question. The the General Assembly just passed on the legislation for safe staffing. Are you hearing anything from the state leaders about the possibility of reviving that bill?
What we know is that they passed a commission that is dominated by employers, for-profit employers. It doesn't even include the nonprofit employers. That commission claims that they are going to study the issue. We also know that hundreds of nursing home residents have died during the COVID pandemic, and we know that there was a crisis before that. We know already, it is a fact, that we are 41st in the country in terms of staffing. There is no longer a need to study. There is a need to end the lethal status quo. And I don't know what members of the State House might be planning, but I know that we and the community are insistent that they need to pass this bill. It cannot wait. And if they have to come back in emergency session or if they have to do in the budget, whatever they have to do, nursing home residents can no longer continue to suffer. Nursing home workers can no longer continue to suffer. And just this weekend, I'm aware that over 400 Rhode Island constituents reached out to their legislators in the House to let them know that a commission is unacceptable, that the only thing that is acceptable is to pass this bill. And so we continue to call on the legislature to pass this bill. But if they don't do what's right, we know that we have the ability as workers to fight to get safe staffing for our residents in our contracts. And if that's going to take a strike to win that, that's what we're going to have to do.
Thank you very much.